So, hey, this is Eric Louvier. Well, this is kind of close up. First time I'm doing this this live stream here on Substack. Let's see how to scoot this back here. Scoot my computer back. There you go. That should work a lot better. All right. So I don't know if anyone's here yet, but if you are, type into the live chat here that you can hear me and see the screen or see me on the screen. And I'm going to discuss making money today. And I'm qualified to discuss that because I've done, good $30 million online for the past 20 years. So been there, done that, got the battle scars and the t-shirt to show for all this time I've spent online making money. Quit my day job back in 2006 and, never looked back. And well, I guess sometimes I felt like going back to a day job because sometimes business can just really, disrupt you, derail you, and put you in a bad season. So that's just part of life, right? In this life, we will have trouble. So just go with it. When you have trouble, just keep going. So I'm going to talk about the 7 pillars, of breaking through to really high income online, after helping people for 20 years to make money online, thousands of people. There's some things that I've seen that really just move the needle and help people to make money online. Okay. So I want to discuss those things today. And yeah, if you guys can hear me and see the screen okay, then please type into the question panel or the live chat thingy here and let me know. What's up, Dave? I see Dave's in the house. So we got one. That's better than just me talking to the air, but I guess this is being recorded. I hope it's being recorded and be able to share it. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the 7 big money movers, right? These are some of the things that I've seen over the years that really made a big difference for, people to get them making more money. And these are big movers, right? These are like when you do these things, it really makes a big difference in the income that you generate. So I want to discuss those. And so let's just dive into it real quick and go through these, see how this live streaming works, and take it from there. So I think one thing to learn is next time I need to use a microphone that is further back so I could get further back and still talk to you guys, or use my remote control. There you go. Maybe that's better. Use my wireless microphone so you guys can hear me better. So, all right, let's get right after it. So, one of the big money movers, I'm going to talk about 7 different ones, but one of the big money movers that I've seen for people, and I wrote about this on Substack recently, is being immune to ridicule. And this is something that I've seen time and time again where, I'll have somebody who's a coach or a consultant or, expert, influencer in some form or fashion, and they want to generate more money, but they won't do things to be visible, or they won't do things to put themselves out there. They won't take their personality and throw it out there. They're not doing YouTube videos. They're not doing Substack. They're not on LinkedIn. They're not on social media anywhere, which is where all the eyeballs are. So where all the people are. So it's kind of hard to be successful in this game if you're not being visible. And so the biggest thing that I think holds people back from being visible is they just feel like either one, they're not very good at it, or 2, they're afraid of what people are going to say, what people think of them, or ridicule, people chastising them. Like, Dave here in the room could like start picking on me, right? Say, hey, your glasses are foggy or whatever. And like, I need to be immune to Dave. No offense, Dave, but I need to be immune to people who are picking on me, right? Because you're going to get picked on no matter what you do because you're visible. It's like whack-a-mole. You're putting yourself out there, so people are going to take shots at you no matter what. People out there are evil and they're rude and they're mean and they are who they are. They're gonna chirp you, right? Like we say in baseball. So you want to make sure that you are immune to ridicule. That's one of the big money movers that there is on planet Earth, is to just decide like you don't give a damn what other people think. And I talk about this a lot because I feel like it's something that holds people back. They for whatever reason they don't want to put themselves out there because they're afraid of what Aunt Jessie's gonna say, or, Uncle Michael or whatever, and or the friend down the street who they happen to be connected with on social media, or the T-ball coach, or the person at church, or the coworker or whatever. And so they hide behind the internet, they hide behind this wall, and they wonder why they can't make money, and it's because they're just worried about what other people think, or think about what they're doing. Like, "Oh, you're gonna start a YouTube channel? Oh, you think you're some guru? Oh," and they're gonna pick on them, and that just holds them back. I see it time and time again, but something happens along the way where all of a sudden, I guess, let me put it this way, like, maybe you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being broke. And that's enough for you to decide you don't give a damn what other people think, and you put yourself out there. Or you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of working for a day job that you don't like, or working for a boss you can't stand, or office politics, or whatever else is going on that's holding you back. So then you say, "You know what? I would rather have some ridicule, and I'd rather put myself out there than have it to deal with all that crap," and then you put yourself out there. So something happens along the way where I think people decide, "You know what? I'm just going to screw it. I'm just gonna do this." And then it's everything before that moment and everything after that moment. And in the future, you could date back to that moment where you decided to be more visible, or you decided to take more action without regards to what other people think. And here's the thing, the people that you're most worried about what they think don't buy your stuff anyway. They're not gonna buy from you anyway. They're your friends, your family, your coworkers. They're not gonna buy from you because they know you. They're gonna expect whatever it is that you do to be provided to them for free, or they're just a little embarrassed to approach you, right, about what you could do for them for free. So over, "Hey, Sally." "What's up, Sally?" "Sally in the house. Good to see you." Um, like, over the years, I've had people come approach me and they're like, "Hey, I happen to look you up online and, like, maybe, I don't know, I'd love to learn from you and what you do and all that." And, like, this could be someone that I'm coaching baseball with, or, someone from T-ball, or a parent, that I met in my daughter's dance meet or something. And that's because they saw the lifestyle or whatever, and then looked you up and saw that you do something, and maybe it took them 3 years before they finally asked you. But those people tend to not buy from you. Those are your peers. I've had people take me out to lunch, I thought they just wanted to hang out. We're like, have lunch, right? We're just eating some enchiladas or something, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, "Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, this business that you got going on, where you get all this freedom, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's the real reason why we're at lunch." So those kinds of things happen, and it is what it is. Humans are gonna human, but if you really wanna make money move for you and start coming more to you and attracting more cash flow into your bank account, then you absolutely need to become immune to ridicule. It's one of the biggest things you could ever do, and that goes hand in hand with number 2. That was pillar number 1 is, immune to ridicule, but pillar number 2 is visibility, which goes hand in hand with pillar number 1. So, like I said a minute ago, we live in a social internet now. Everything is social. Everything is about visibility. And so if you are obscure, if you are hidden, if you are hiding behind the internet, you are making it way harder for yourself to be successful in business. Like, I mean, I had to put on a collared shirt and, didn't put any product in my hair, but, got on this call, put the lights on, right? Put the background right here, this black background, and put on my little blue light right here. I can change the colors, by the way. Make it a red flashing light, like that really should get attention, but that's white. There's blue. So ultimately, you gotta be visible. You can be visible in different ways. You can write, which is what I love Substack about. You can write, you can record videos like this. You can record audios like a podcast, or audios. You could create art like images, and you could create, these are the modalities. These are the ways that you can put yourself out there and be visible. And the more you do that, the better results you're going to get. So be visible. That would be number 2. If you like, basically what I'll tell people is like, if you really want to get money moving to you, how visible are you on a scale of 1 to 10, like a dial, like a stereo? We're gonna turn the stereo up, and it goes from 0 to 10. 10 is full blast, came in here. blowing your eardrums out. 0 means you can't hear anything. What are you on that dial as far as being visible? Let's say you're a 2. Okay, you're a 2, at least you're being visible. But what if we turn that up to like a 6 or a 5 and you're being a lot more visible? What is that gonna do for you? Well, that's gonna produce a lot more attention. And attention is the currency of the internet right now, right? So the more attention you're getting, good or bad, the more people are going to be paying attention to your offers, and that generates more cash for you. This is why people are polarizing. Like you can see celebrities that are kind of becoming obscure, not making any money, they're kind of being forgotten about, and then all of a sudden they do something super controversial. Now everyone's talking about them. That's on purpose so they can start getting more of the spotlight put on them so they can make so much more money. So this is the same thing in business as well. And when we talk about the internet, it's the digital information superhighway, and people buy from those they know, like, and trust. So if you're not going to be visible online, you better find someone who can be visible. So like if I'm talking to a plumber, I'm like, you want to make more money in your plumbing business, then let's get you more visible in your area. So let's do some YouTube videos. YouTube's the second largest search engine. And so a lot of small businesses don't even use YouTube. And like I was getting my haircut and the lady was talking about doing some marketing, right, for her salon. And I'm like, YouTube. Like, I mean, I have never got my haircut there. It was the first time I went there. I used to go to a different place and like I decided I was gonna try this place out. I told her, I was like, what I did is I went online, I looked for your website, and because it's just down the road from me, I'm like, I looked at your website, and the first thing I looked for is, do you do men's haircut? Because it's a salon, right? And I'm like, and then I saw that you do men's haircut, and I booked an appointment. I was like, but I was wondering, like, what is this salon? Like, it's a salon and day spa. And all that. I'm like, what does it look like on the inside? Like, what is? I'm a dude, right? Like, I don't know what I'm walking into here, right? But I want the convenience of it being close instead of far away from me. So I'm like, well, marketing is what I do. So if I was you, I would do some YouTube videos. Let's just start doing a bunch of YouTube videos because use keywords because YouTube's the second largest search engine. People are using YouTube as a search engine. So as a local business, this is a golden opportunity. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys, but I lost my train of thought. Being visible. So that's the second pillar to moving money to you is to be more visible. And it's just something you got to do. You just got to get over yourself and do it. Like, for me on my YouTube channel that I'm working on right now, I'm trying to appeal to people who are 40 years old or older. Like for me, I'm like, I don't need to be some slick little, young buck, a person, diva, social media person. I can just be me. And if I'm appealing to people who are my age or older, they don't give a damn, right? They want the information and all that. So I can not put product in my hair or wear my visor or wear a t-shirt and they don't care, right? Whereas I'm not trying to be some GQ social media diva, in front of Lambos and stuff like that. I mean, that's not who I am, right? So, like, if you just are who you are and you put yourself out there as you are, who you are, then you're gonna attract and resonate to people who are like you, just like you do in your real life, like or your offline life, your real life, like your offline life when you're participating in your community and stuff, you start to befriend people who are kinda like you, and people who are not like you, you're kinda like, "Yeah, I'm not hanging out with that dude." But you see what I mean? Like, that's kinda what happens on the internet too. The market mirrors you, so the more visible you are, the more you're gonna attract people who resonate with your vibe and your tone, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, speaking of vibe, is, what I call life force. This is one thing that is, a big money mover. And so let me just kind of explain this out here. I'm just going to call it life force. So I learned this many, many years ago from a guy named Stuart Wilde, and he's gone now and passed away. But he would talk about this thing called life force, and I studied it, back in the day, and I really loved it, and it stuck with me all these years. I think it was like late '90s when I learned this. But basically, what he says, if it is, and this is what I teach my clients too, is if you can raise your life force, then you're gonna attract more money and people towards you anyway. So in other words, like let's go back to that dial again, that stereo. Let's say you're used to operating on like a 2 or 3, like I am. I'm usually like if you meet me offline, just out and about, I'm kinda more quiet. I'm kinda more reserved, than I am right now at this moment. And so what I'm doing is I'm turning up that volume a few notches, right, on my life force. So I'm a little bit more enthusiastic with you right now. I'm talking with a little bit more snap than I usually do. I'm speeding things up. I'm really kind of chilled out and reserved and passive, right? But I could be aggressive when I want to be. I can be bold. I can, just to turn up the enthusiasm, have more vibration about myself, have more presence, have more authority, all of that. And that makes a huge difference, right? Like you can walk into a room of people and be super quiet and kind of shrug your shoulders and pull your hat down and just kind of not be, you know, be forgotten, not stand out, and you won't. And people will just blow right past you. Or you could raise your life force and people will start paying attention to you. It's the strangest thing. Like the story I like to, talk about is there's a story I read about Marilyn Monroe. So back in the day when she was alive, this journalist was interviewing her like in some big city, and they were walking around the city while he was interviewing her. And he's like, I just got to say, like, I'm just absolutely shocked that no one's recognizing you. You're one of the most famous people in the world, and people are not really recognizing you. And then she's like, oh, yeah, that's on purpose. And she's like, I could get people to start recognizing me instantly. And so she just changed her whole demeanor, her whole vibration, her whole energy. And all of a sudden people were like, "Oh my god, it's Marilyn Monroe." And then everything changed and the journalist was just blown away. It's kinda like that, right? It's another example is like if you are in the woods and there's a bunch of trees and you kinda look up in the trees in one spot, and you don't see anything. There's no animals or nothing. You just kinda look in that spot, but then you see a squirrel jump, run across the branches, and then you see the squirrel, but you didn't see that squirrel a moment ago because it blended in with the woods, the trees. Well, it's the same thing with humans. We're all like we just blend in with the noise, right? But whenever you kind of turn up the volume on your life force and you have more magic about yourself, then and you listen to this, this is when people start to show up, right? And as Stewart says, when they show up, build them. So in other words, when you're having more magic about yourself and you're having more life force about yourself and you're putting yourself out there, then what's going to happen is people are going to start following you. People are going to start showing up. And when they do, have something for them to buy, build them, sell them something, close them into solving a problem for them. So that life force is having more magic about yourself, okay? And this is the really the big key to put a bow on that is people buy more from influence than they do direct response sales. So in other words, I can hammer my email list. I could show up like I could have came on this call and just been like sell, 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 and just pitch, 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 close, 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 and be all salesy and then just tell you like I can help you do this and I can help you do that. And I have this special opportunity I'm running right now. And if you really want to make this money, then go to this link. And I could do all that, right? And people won't buy as much as they would based on influence. So again, the lesson to learn here and what to write down is people buy more on influence than they do knock them over the head direct response selling. Make sense? So if you focus on being influential, then you're going to get more sales than you would if you just directly try to chase cash. That's why, like, there's times where it's like, oh man, we need to generate some more cash, right? Like, we're in a cash crunch as a business, and it's like sell, 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 right? And I even my moniker is just sell, baby. But sometimes when you persist, resist, when you push too hard, then you're actually turning everybody off with too much hardcore selling. But when you do like give, sell, or influential selling, indirect selling, then you're just being visible and you're being influential, and that provokes people to want to buy from you, like go shopping, be a buyer, than being sold. No one wants to be sold. Okay. So that's the next pillar is being influential. I mean, life force. Then that's a 1, 2. So number 1 is being immune to ridicule. Number 2 is visibility. Number 3 is life force. And number 4 is a really big one. It's one that I teach every day, and this is the one that I focus on helping people do, and because it's made me the most amount of money in my life, and when I made that change, it was the breakthrough that broke me through into making high net income. You're talking about 100 grand a month of net income, not gross income, net income. And you could go out there and find people that run $50 million businesses, and they don't make that much net income personally, right? And it came from one major thing, and that is high ticket. High ticket, big ticket, big fees. It's really hard to sell cheap stuff. It's really hard. Like, information is just a commodity now. It's almost useless with AI. Like, everyone and their grandmother is creating content now. Content is useless. Like, it's just not valuable, right? Content's not valuable, with a caveat. I'm gonna tell you about that in a second. But information is not valuable. Cheap stuff is not valuable. Well, it's not valuable, it's cheap. And people don't respect it and they don't care about it. And so therefore, um, it doesn't work as well. So information content is so cheap and with little value, but the one thing that is of value, like, let me put it this way. Content is a dime a dozen, or we say that down here in the South. Content is a dime a dozen, means it's everywhere, right? It's just like you can find it anywhere. It's abundant. It's huge supply. But what's not abundant, what's not in huge supply, what's not a commodity is you. Your style, your vibe, your personality, your teaching style, your coaching style, your program, the way you do your program is not. I could take what someone else taught, like I just taught you about being having more magic about yourself from Stuart Wilde, where I learned it, but I taught it my way. Maybe I did it better than he did. Maybe he does it better than I do. But I did it in my style, right? So there's only one Eric Louviere out there who's me. There's only one you. So when you put content out there in your style, it's you, right? And that's not a commodity. There's only one of you. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's really important to understand the power of high ticket. And so let's say you're selling something for $100 and you want to make, I don't know, let's say $20,000 a month. That's what, 200 sales? So you gotta make 200 sales. I mean, that's a lot of sales. I mean, that's a lot of people. Like, if you converted 2%, I mean, how many thousands of people do you need in order to sell 200 people a $100 offer? And then, so what I'm saying is, it's a good way to go broke online is to sell cheap stuff. Like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I got a decent following. I got a really good email marketing list of subscribers. It would be hard for me to sell 200 of anything. I could sell something for $5. To sell 200 of those, I mean, at cheap prices, it's hard to make any money with that, right? So, but at high ticket, let's say 10 grand, like, let's say you sell 4 of those in a month, one a week, that's $40,000. Now you're making most of the people in America. You're in the top percentage, right, of income. So at 40,000, 6 of them would be 60 grand a month. I mean, you're getting up there in income, and that's not normal, and that's, in my opinion, way easier to do than trying to sell 1,000 people a $10 offer or 10,000 people a $10 offer. I mean, that's really hard to do. You need a lot of traffic, which means you're gonna need to spend a lot of money on advertising, which means you're probably gonna need a staff of people to handle all the customer service because there's so many people. Where a high ticket, you get 2 or 3 people a month that pays 10 grand. You're making 20, 30, 40 grand a month. You're only servicing 2 or 3, 4 people, and you're helping them, and you don't have to provide them with 40 hours a week of your time. They don't have time for your 40 hours a week. And so less is more. Less work, more net income. So high ticket is one of the big money movers I've ever seen. So I'll have a client that comes to me, or a person comes to me, becomes a client, and they've been charging like $1,000 and, or $500 or $100, and I help them with high ticket. I gotta sneeze. I'm trying to fight it off. Then what happens is they end up going from making like 5, 8, 12 grand a month to 30, 40, 50, 60 grand a month. And we turn their yearly income into their monthly income by going high ticket. And I see that move the needle so much over all these years that that's such a huge thing to do. So you got to embrace the high ticket because it's natural for us to think, well, if I charge $100, so many more people have $100. It's an impulse buy. It's an easier sell. I'll get more success. I'll feel better about myself. But it's an illusion because at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you sold hundreds of people. You're absolutely worn out, exhausted because they're going to be much more demanding than the high ticket people. It's just counterintuitive. It's absolutely counterintuitive. The higher ticket people are less work. It's more cash. It's the opposite. Okay. So I mean, I can talk about that for hours, but high ticket is where the big cash is. And just going from your mindset of being, I'm going to try to sell everybody under the sun something cheap to I'm going to be very selective of my ideal, perfect, heavenly client. And I'm going to give them my heart, blood, sweat, soul, and tears to help that person. And then that's where the big money is going to come from. So that's high ticket. That's pillar number 4. Pillar number 5 is in short supply right now. I think you will agree, and I think as each year passes, I have children, right? My son's 18, he's about to go to college, daughter's 12, and I coach baseball for my son. I'm around a lot of kids often, and I can tell you right now, this is in short supply. My baseball team right now, I preach to this to them all the time. I'm like, "I need someone to step up and be a leader on this team." And what I think is in short supply right now is leadership. And as each AI month passes, as each robot month passes, as each month passes and people have to think less and less and less, whether we go on a universal base income. I mean, we saw this during shutdown with COVID. People are at home milking money from the government. They're not working. I mean, speaking of the salon I used to go to get my haircut was nobody was there. It was a ghost town. And I'm like, why? Where's everybody at? And they're like, well, they're at home. They're making more at home than they are coming to work. So they're, just getting money from COVID. And I'm telling you right now, leadership is in short supply. I told my son, you want to be super successful in your generation, then step up and be a leader because all your peers are not going to be leaders. They're gonna be, great at video games and sitting around eating Doritos and doing whatever it is that they're doing, virtual life, right? But they're not gonna be leaders. Everything is shrinking them down, not expanding them into becoming more. If you want more, you gotta become more. If you want more, you gotta become more. If you want more, you gotta become more. And so these people are not becoming more. So if you wanna be successful right now, then just step up and be a leader because people need leaders. Everyone's walking around like zombies looking for a leader to show up and help them. Just the sheer act of you being a leader is going to make you a lot of money. So step up and be a leader, be an authority figure. The highest level of conversions is celebrity. If you're a celebrity, easy to make money. The next one is authority, like doctors. Like we give doctors money without even questioning them, right? They're just doctors, right? I know a lot of stupid doctors, so it's like, we need a second, third, fifth opinion. Like they wanted to give me surgery on my hip. One of my friends recommended this, one of those deep tissue kind of guys. Worked on my hip 3 times, and that was like 5, 6 years ago. I didn't have any surgery. I'm like, well, I was that close. The doctor sure was recommending surgery. And then when I went to my next appointment, I'm like, hey, all that pain's gone. Got deep tissue. Do you really think I need surgery? I wasn't gonna get surgery. And he's like, "No, I don't. There's millions of men walking around your age that has that same pain." Right, yeah, so you gain a little weight, you get just things start hurting, you get a little older. So anyway, ultimately, I think leadership is in short supply. Authority is in short supply. So me standing here talking to you guys and giving you like true authority because I know my stuff and stepping up and being a leader and leading you and influencing you this way, like, that's in short supply. You take that, you mix that with visibility, you mix that with life force, you mix that with, being immune to ridicule and the other pillars I've talked about here, make a humongous difference for you, okay? So that's the, what, 5th pillar? The 6th pillar is don't try to be the end all be all to everybody. One core flagship problem is what you wanna solve, or that's what your offer needs to be, that you solve one core main flagship problem, all right? So, like, picture the tip of the iceberg sticking out of the water. You can only see the tip of the iceberg sticking out of the water. You can't see the big, like, glacier of an iceberg that's underneath the ocean. You can only like the Titanic, you can only see the little tip of the iceberg. Well, the tip of the iceberg is your core offer. It's the core problem that you solve. One problem, one solution. One problem, one solution. Not I like, I'll talk to life coaches. I'm like, what do you do, like, as a life coach? What does that mean? What do you help people with?" And they're like, Oh, I'm a life coach. I can help them, lose weight. I can help them with their spirituality. I can help them with their finances. I can help them become better parents. I can help them lose weight. I can help them, live longer. I can help them. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We need one problem, one solution, right? I know life is all encompassing, but one problem, one solution to marketing. One problem, one solution. Well, high ticket. That's why people buy. One offer. Okay. So that don't try to be the end all be all to everybody. One problem, one solution. Okay. That's the next one. And then the last one is, I'm gonna explain it like this. It would be, confidence and certainty. Confidence and certainty. So if you do have a one problem, one solution type of offer, you have an offer where you're gonna charge someone high ticket, then you need to be absolutely certain that you can solve that problem for somebody. So this has happened many times too. I'll get a client and they're like, "I don't know, I just can't sell my offer. I'm not confident." I'm like, "Well, do you believe in what it is that you're doing? Do you believe in the solution that you're providing somebody? Because if not, then your subconscious mind is gonna sabotage it. But if you truly believe 100% that you're absolutely certain that you can solve that problem and that your system or whatever solves that problem, then you ought to wanna sell it with 100% certainty and confidence because people don't buy maybes. They buy certainty. I'm 100% certain that I can solve that problem for you, right? So if I get a prospect and they're like, "Yeah, I've never made 10 grand per month in my coaching business. I feel like if I can make 10 grand per month, I can scale up from there. 10 grand will help me run ads and, all this different stuff. I just want to get to 10 grand. I can quit my job and all that." I'm like, I'm 100% certain I can help you make 10 grand. I mean, if not 10 grand a week. Okay. So like absolute 100% certainty. If I'm not certain about that, then it's not going to happen. They're not going to buy from me, right? Especially a high ticket. If I'm like, I'm 100% certain. In fact, I guarantee you that I'm going to help you make a minimum of 10 grand per month or I don't go anywhere. I'm going to keep helping you until you make 10 grand per month because I can make that in my sleep. Okay, so I can help you do it. I've done it 1,000 times. I'm gonna do it for you too. 100% certain, guaranteed. Now that is confidence, and I'm presenting it in a confident and certain manner. So one of the best ways I ever learned about confidence is this. Confidence is a luxury that comes later on. Confidence is like not a you just don't appear confident, right? Like if someone's like, "Hey, Eric, you know, we want you to start dancing ballet on stage and we'll give you $1,000,000." I'm like, "Okay, I'll dance on stage and do ballet." Am I confident to do ballet? No, I've never done ballet in my entire life. So, no, I'm not confident to do that. You see what I mean? So confidence comes later on. So here's what you need to be confident. It's just the 4 C's. Learn this from Dan Kennedy maybe or Dan Sullivan, one of those 2. So here's the 4 C's. First is a commitment. So you make a commitment to doing something, like maybe a commitment to be invisible. Okay, so like a commitment to doing Substack every day. Something you make a commitment. And then because commitment is you make a commitment when you're motivated, right? And motivation is temporary, drive is forever. So when you make a commitment to do something, the motivation, the emotion that you set it is going to leave you and then it's going to become work. What are you going to do when the motivation drifts away and dissipates? That's commitment, right? You make a commitment that you're gonna do it. I have this app on my phone called Habit Share. Love it. It's free. Habit Share. And basically I put my goals, my little habits I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna read the Bible every day, right? One chapter. Boom, I put that in there. And every day I read it and then I click the little check mark. I did it. It's like a game, right? It's like hitting my 10,000 steps on my watch. See what I mean? On this Fitbit. So you have your habits, you have your commitment. So commitment is the first C, and then the next thing is courage. Courage, because it takes courage to do a video like this. It takes courage to do YouTube videos. It takes courage to charge high ticket. It takes courage to even get on an appointment with somebody. It takes courage to post. It takes courage to record a podcast or be interviewed or anything like that. So it's going to take courage unless you've done it. I've done group calls like this, I mean, 1,000, 10,000 times in my career. So it's nothing for me to do this. But if I was trying to do something new, like I was going to come on Fox News or something, I've never done that. So I'd be a little bit intimidated to do that. It's going to take courage to do that, right? So commitment, courage to do it and stick to it. And then when you do that, you're gonna get capabilities, which is the 3rd C. So by doing that, it's gonna give you more capabilities. Like, if you do Substack all the time or you do YouTube all the time, this is gonna give you new capabilities you didn't have before. And skills pay the bills. Skills pay the bills, right? Those new capabilities are gonna become valuable for you, okay? And then the 4th C is confidence. The confidence comes later on after those. So first one is commitment. You gotta commit to something. You can't just half-ass this and half-ass that and go you can't go a mile wide and only an inch deep. You gotta go a mile deep and an inch wide. You gotta get into the guts of the thing that you're doing if you wanna get any success. Being 10% good at a lot of different things is not good enough. You gotta be 90% good at one thing. So if you're 90% good at Substack, and we're almost done, 90% good at YouTube, 90% good at podcasting, whatever, 90% good at running Facebook ads, then that's gonna produce a lot of results for you, okay? And so you got to commit to something. So when you have the commitment to do it, then you're gonna have to have courage to stick to it because there's gonna be things that keep you up late at night. Resistance is gonna show up. It always shows up, and you gotta bust through that resistance. So you gotta stay committed with courage, and then all of a sudden you get new capabilities. You're like, "What? You don't run Facebook ads? What's the matter with you? I can run Facebook ads in my sleep. Facebook ads is making me a fortune. You're what? Why are you scared? I used to be scared of Facebook ads too until I finally figured it out. Now that I figured it out, it produces leads for me left and right. I'm making an absolute fortune. It's the easiest way to make money online. There is. You can post content till you're blue in the face every day, but I could wipe that out in about 10 minutes with $10 on Facebook ads. In other words, this video might get 1,000 views. I can get 1,000 views in about 5 minutes on Facebook with like $5. You see what I mean? So a lot of people are afraid of ads. So let me just end it with this. The 4 C's again are, well, then I'll repeat all 7 pillars. So first is you need to commit to what it is you're going to do. That's going to give you, then you need courage to stick to it. That's going to give you new capabilities. And then you get confidence after that. Okay. Confidence is a luxury that comes at the end of those. Now, the 4 pillars again, and then we'll end this live call. It's about 37 minutes now. The 7 pillars to breakthrough is pillar number one is immune to ridicule. Be immune to ridicule. That moves money. Number 2 is visibility. The more visible you're out there, the more immune to ridicule you are, the better results you're going to get, especially in today's day and age. Online. 3 is life force. The more life force, the more magic you have about you, the more influence you have about you, the more people are going to buy from you. Number 4 is high ticket. We talked about that. I could do a whole weekend workshop. In fact, I do weekend workshops on high ticket. It's that important. It really makes you a ton more cash than cheap stuff. Number 5 is leadership authority. It's in short supply. So if you can be a leader, be that leader. Step up into being a leader. Step into yourself and be more magic about yourself. Let your light shine. Okay? Be a light for other people and work for God, not man, and be that leader because we need you. This world needs you, okay? Badly, way more than you realize. There's no leaders anywhere, just followers. So step up and be a leader, and you'll get the followers. And then number 6 is one core main flagship problem. So one problem, one solution. Don't try to be the end all be all to everybody. One problem, one solution. And last is confidence. When you are confident and certain that your solution is what they need, like if I had the cure to cancer, I wouldn't be all shy about it. I would run out to the streets and yell, anybody got cancer? I got the freaking cure. Come to my house right now. I'm going to give you this potion and presto, it's done. It's worked for everybody that has cancer. I have the cure to cancer. Put me on the news. Let's fix this problem once and for all for everybody. Like, I wouldn't be shy and timid about that. I would do what God created me to do by giving me that solution or cure to cancer. So do that for yourself, okay? Be confident and certain and find a solution that you wholeheartedly believe in. And if you have a solution for people that you wholeheartedly believe in, then you almost do them an injustice by not providing that and letting the world know that you have this solution, right? So those are the 7 pillars to break through to more rapid income. That's it. What's up, Jeff? shows about 10 people on this, so we're gonna need to ramp up the visibility, but this is the first time I've ever done that, and, it was a short notice, I just decided to do it. I did the live group call for my VIPers, my VIP clients, and then I just switched over to doing this since I was in the groove. So thanks a lot, guys, for being here, and, we'll see you next time I do one of these. Love you guys, appreciate it, and onwards and upwards, and just sell, baby.